Here's another question someone asked. They wanted to know if you could use a sheet of plywood to lay out a set of stairs or to create a template. And you can. Now, this is kind of part of my series. I'm trying to help people wrap their minds around laying out a set of stairs. And of course, I have my books. You can always go to the website and check out. I got quite a few of them, and they are helpful. But for those of you who are building a small set of stairs, you might not need the book. You might just need this video here. So let's see if I can explain this in a way that will make sense to the individual asking the question and to those who might benefit from this. So let's go ahead and grab a sheet of plywood, OSB, and we will put our measurement here and snap a line across that will represent the total rise. So again, 8 foot, it's a 4x8 sheet of plywood. We don't know how many steps we're going to have, but we're just going to come out an estimated distance. You can come out 4 foot, you can come out 5 feet, but this is why this is a template. You're going to come out a certain distance, just take a guess, and then we will divide it into sections. And again, you can divide it into however many sections you want. Remember, a 10-inch or 11-inch tread is good. So you could just come out 40 inches if you want. You could come out 50 inches. In our example here, we are going to come out 4. We want 4 steps. We're just going to make it a foot here. And then you can see here where you can actually measure up at this point here where it intersects the angle. And here we have 7 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a few more lines that are going to come off of here perpendicular. So we have 7 inches. And I'm guessing if this is 7 inches, then this is going to be 14 inches, and this is going to be 21 inches. And then, of course, this is 28 inches. 2 foot, 4 inches is 28 inches. So we're doing good so far. So here it is, 7 inches. And again, you can draw a line here to connect. And these are all parallel lines. So we have a parallel line to the edge of the plywood. So we're not using a framing square to lay this out. We're just simply snapping some lines or drawing lines with a straight edge. So this is going to be parallel to this. This line here is going to be parallel to this or to the edge here. Now all of these lines are going to be parallel to the bottom of the OSB here. So hopefully this makes sense. We now have a template for a set of stairs that we can cut out and use for our stringer. Now that was the hard part. This will be a lot easier. So we are going to put our temporary pattern into position and double check everything, measure from the top down to make sure that everything is okay and it's going to work. And then we're simply going to put a board up here, a 2x12, 2x14, and sometimes even a 2x10 will work for smaller stairways like this. And then we are going to trace it with a pencil. And again, you can actually, if you firmly attach the template to the structure here, then you can put the stringer or the piece of 2x12 that is going to be your stringer, set it up in here, and then simply just put some screws in, run some screws through the OSB template into the stringer. Then take these screws out, and there is your pattern for your stringer. So again, this is just another way, if you're having a difficult time figuring out how to use a framing square for something like this, then you will simply continue these lines through. And again, remember, these are going to be parallel to this. So if you draw a line and you're drawing it on the concrete or something, and this is out a little bit, then you might have a problem with these measurements here. So the floor could actually be out of whack, but If you measure this and it's 7 inches, and you come over to here and you measure this and it's 7.5 inches, you got a problem with something here. So keep that in mind. Same thing with these measurements here. And of course, simply continue this line down. And then you can cut the stringer, put it into place, and then double check all of the measurements. Now remember, this is going to be the finished height of the stairway. So when you measure down here and it's 7 inches, this is 7 inches, 7 inches, and 7 inches, then you're going to have a problem if you go and you put a 2x12 tread on top of this, because it's now going to make this 5.5 inches. And this measurement here is now going to be 8.5 inches. So you will need to deduct the thickness of the tread from the bottom so that you can drop the stringer down and make everything work out. So that is very important. You have your pattern here. You double check everything and then allow for anything you are going to modify from here on out. So if you're going to use a 2x12 tread and you need to have something to connect the stringer to the concrete, which might be 2x4 treated lumber, and then you're going to have to deduct for that also. So if you're going to have 2x4 treated lumber and a 2x12 on the top for your tread, that's 3 inches. You will need to deduct from the bottom of the stringer to make everything work out. If you're going to put a ledger on here, a 2x10, so that you can connect the stringers to it if needed, then you're going to need to deduct for that. Once you have this pattern here, and you go to put stuff into place, wouldn't be a bad idea to set the pattern up here into position and then set your treads on top of it, or set a sample of the tread. If you know your tread's going to be 3/4 of an inch, put a scrap piece of 3/4 inch lumber on top of here and then double check your measurements to make sure that everything is going to work out. Trust me on this. I just gave you an idea how to create a stringer for those of you who are having a difficult time. You will need to modify the top or the bottom in some cases, depending upon which method of construction you are going to use. So hope this helps. And don't forget, I will put a link here to some of our other videos for easy stair building. So you don't have to build them like this. If it sounds like it's going to be too difficult, there are other ways, and I have created a few examples of them. So check them out. If this is kind of confusing, the other ones might be easier to use.